everybody, welcome to another Sketchbook Dissections. I'm Steve Emond. These are my sketchbooks. So we're going back to 2008, I'm going to say 2008, 2000, I'm going to go directly in 2008, okay? That's what I'm saying. So let's start right off with something pretty awesome. This is I used to call them purple head guys. I used to sketch these stupid little things with my friend Sarah at work, and we would pass these notes to each other to try to make each other laugh. This guy was basically just one giant head, and he had some like arms that came out of his face, like coming out of his cheek here. And he had this kind of radio DJ haircut and no shirt, and he'd play guitar, and he sang Because the Night Has 1,000 Eyes. That was his song. That's the song he sang. And here's Hamburger Khan, which was like an evil version of that. And he had this little Kermit the Frog mask on. So you see Kermit and you're like, oh, you're a nice guy. But then, it turns out it's actually Hamburger Khan, the horrible villain. Here's a bunch of ideas for the 80s kids, which is a canceled cartoon. It started with my friend Lawrence at work was watching Dawson's Creek every day. He worked from home and Dawson's Creek was on in the morning, and he ran out of episodes and he was upset, so I started writing these little like paragraph long episodes where they all go back to high school and relive their good times, and it was just this dark, weird, disturbing thing, and I decided like these are really, really funny. I'm gonna try making my own actual show like that, and I called it the 80s Kids, and it was terrible. It was, mid-2000s shock humor. It would get me canceled today. Hopefully nobody ever sees it again. I don't stand by anything in that cartoon. Sometimes you just have to shame yourself because of the bad art. There's Penny from Emo Boy. Speaking of mid-2000s shock humor, here's some Tim and Eric stuff. Are they with Bill Cosby, apparently? And I don't know who that is. Dexter? Oh, they seem to be the Castle Crashers. I don't know what I'm doing here. Here's a drawing of Casey from my Flood project, which is a comic story I was developing with this girl, Jen Kwan, and it's something that I've come back to over and over and over through the years. Currently don't have any plans for it, but who knows? Next year I might be like, I know how to do it now. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Synecdoche, New York, but that has the most relatable content in the world because it's a very abstract horror film. Like, it's a horror movie, but it's not scary ghosts and stuff. It's just like life horrors, things that are really scary. And this guy gets this grant to do this big play that encompasses all of life, and like every 5 years he goes, I think I know how to do it now. And it's so relatable because I have so many projects that I just come back to and I go, now I know how to do it. Before I didn't know. Here's another goofy guy that has all kinds of arms coming out of his head and spittle and a giant ear. As you can see, these guys were endlessly ridiculous. Lots of writing in my sketchbooks. Party, song, dodgeball. I think these were all Emo Boy ideas. Song for Penny. Triumphed only by self-pity. Show why he won't ask her out. I'll run along the beach with you. What do I say? What do I do? Is that the ocean or your eyes? I'm tangled in the seaweed. Left behind like you don't need me. 'Cause I'm a waste. Oh, big surprise. Yeah. I am ugly, I'm not cool. And you sparkle like a jewel. I'm a twig, I break easy. Are you a branch? Will you carry me? I don't know, yeah. Poetry. My friend Mike Atterbury writes books. Look him up. Mike Atterbury, Attebery. I always thought I should have 2 R's and a Y like a berry, but I did this cover for his book, Bullets, Billionaires, Exploding Monkeys. Supposed to be like a Bill Gates type of guy. Here he is jumping out of a plane. Here's a nice little watercolor of Steve Reno. Everything I do has to have these moons and stars and walking at night in the woods. Classic Steve stuff. Here's some character designs for a zombie project I was doing. Kind of loosely based off of my friend Leslie, who's an actress. Yeah, this character here is Odie Spencer, who's gone through a lot of changes, but I'm still kind of working on a project with this character. Here's a picture of Emo Boy projectile vomiting as he does. I don't know what this was supposed to be. I don't know if this was going to be like a t-shirt or something, or if I just wanted to do some crazy energy stuff. This was a project I was working on shortly after Happy Face, called Nilo. He was a vampire who moves into a gigantic castle on Pleasant Street. So it's going to be like a bunch of regular houses and then this one big tall castle. And the idea for it was to do kind of a middle grade version of the Munsters, where you have this family of monsters, but they're kind of in regular suburbia. But somebody else was apparently doing a high school monsters thing and they didn't want to publish it. I liked the idea, but maybe it just wasn't the right time. Some more sketches of Nilo. His catchphrase was, blah. I don't know if I'm supposed to show this. My original name for him was Douchebag Vampire. I don't know. That's not PC. Why is he a douchebag? Here they are in color. Yeah, a bunch of writing ideas. Let's see what's going on here. Half vampire would need a guardian. Someone funny. Alfred type? Embraces suburban life. Balances out boy. Brings something out. Also, doles out some advice. Guardian makes the place just like home. Let's see here. Mopes and tower. Guardian is all suburban. Nilo embraces... Nilo embarrasses... I don't know what that says. Some of these sketches get ridiculously weird. Here's a Family Matters comic book thing. I had this idea that this actually went like mildly viral. I did this thing called Sitcomix, and I would do old 80s and 90s sitcoms, but I would draw them as comic books, and eventually I started really kind of mixing in comic book tropes in addition to just doing a comic book cover like this with Urkel falling over. So we're moving into like 2009, 2010 here. In addition to doing Sitcomix and pitching new ideas for books, I started doing these paintings that I would hang up. I still have some of them hanging up around here. I got Sonic the Hedgehog over there. This one was for Final Fantasy VI. I was trying to do like iconic moments in games that I grew up with that always stood out to me, and like running away from the ghost train, and Final Fantasy VI was one of those. Here's the sketch for Sonic in the Casino Zone. Casino Sky Zone, pardon. In the Simpsons arcade. I'll do one more of these for Street Fighter 2 with Chun-Li versus Vega. This is doing the Sitcomix. I started doing I was trying to do not a full-length comic, but this was after they had gone viral. I was like, how do I ramp it up? So I had done Small Wonder as Iron Man, like a Bill Cosby Superman thing, and then I did this Full House as X-Men, where the Olsen twins are these like giant sentinels. I don't know. I made like a 4-page story that I had my friend Elaine draw, and I did the cover for it. We'll end this with first image from Wintertown. This was on all of my pitch material. Evan and Lucy having some heavy discussion. And this Dark Tower series that I did. I guess I was really into doing these series of art. I was hanging up a lot of stuff on my wall, so I did all those video game paintings. I did a Dark Tower illustration for each of the books. Really into these kind of themed things, but yeah, that will do it. This sketchbook is officially dissected. See you next time.